So good evening. Good evening. We could be seeing good evening again real soon, couldn't we? Good evening, Claude. Hope you're good, mate.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
And
Dickie's coming home. Dickie's coming home. Dickie's coming home. Dickie's coming home, mate. Dickie's coming home.
Dick Emery back again. Well, it could be, couldn't it? It could be. And Kenny's back. We're all wearing red. It's almost like we had a conversation and said, put red tops on, isn't it?
100% it is, man. You know what? You know what? Obviously, you're going to tell me what the theme of the show is, but I just want to apologise in advance to all the people
for being late again. Or?
Well, I want to apologise for being 30 seconds late, but also, most importantly as well, I also want to apologise to the Aubameyang fans because it seems that I criticise him too much, that I single him out, and that I'm not grateful enough. I'm not grateful enough for his contributions over a couple of years, and that he should have credit in the bank. Also, I need to show some. How to say it, reverence towards him. I didn't realise that I was supporting a big club where team comes first and clubs comes first. I didn't realise that we were a small fish in a big pond and that our star player is that massive fish. I didn't realise that. I'm glad some people have now cleared that up. And maybe I won't analyse his poor performances. I'll just say he plays well. It'll make my life easier.
Yeah, that might be a thing going forward, Kenny. Because how dare you criticise the top boy at the football club who's now bigger than the club? But we are going to have a little look forward to West Ham. We'll do that a little bit later on in the show. But Claude, you did a live stream today with the lovely Helen. With Zach. Zach is alive and well, people. I know you guys keep asking me in the chat where Zach is and where Afsal are. They will be back soon, I promise. But and you also had Terry on as well. But what do you make of the draw? Because like we avoided Ajax, we avoided Roma, we avoided Man United, which look at Kenny. We avoided all the big guns, really, in terms of big names. But we got Slavia Prague. If we beat them, we got Zagreb or Mr. Good Evening back again. So what did you make of it, mate?
I make of it, I think, to be honest with what is left in the competition, we've probably got a better run than anyone else. Man United have got Granada, but then they've got the winners of Ajax and Roma. So that's a difficult way through. Slavia Prague have got to be respected, I suppose, because they have beaten Napoli, Leicester.
No, they didn't. Do you know what? I cocked that out. They didn't beat Napoli. Granada beat Napoli, but they have beaten Leicester and Rangers.
Oh, I thought you told me Napoli.
Yeah, I thought they did. It was Granada that beat Napoli.
Well, you've made me look a fool now on live. I'm not happy.
Don't worry, mate. I do it. I make myself look a fool every day.
Yeah,
I hear that.
What made you think of Napoli game?
I just thought it was them that beat Napoli, but it weren't. It was Granada that beat Napoli.
Oh, right.
I thought it was them. It weren't. It was Granada. So that was I apologise for making you look silly, Claude.
Well, yeah, because now I'm going to get it from Terry. So thank you very much. It's not as if I ain't got enough on my plate at the moment. Anyway, yeah. So yeah. Well, let's rephrase it. Beating Leicester and Rangers. So it won't be easy, but I think if you had a choice of what Man United's route or our route, I would have taken our route because Ajax and Roma would be very difficult in the semi-final. I think it's going to come down to. I've got a feeling that the way United's luck is running at the moment, it will be Arsenal Man United final, and I'm confident if we get Man United in the final, I'm very confident. Over.
You're confident of Man U if we get them in the final?
100% because we've played them twice, and one was we beat them at Old Trafford, and we drew at home. So I don't see, and in both games, I think I hate to say it, I think Arteta's got the better of Solskjaer in both games, really. I think, to be honest with you. So I think that'd be, but you never know. It's a final.
Well, we're not there yet, Claude. We're not there yet. We've got to get past Slavia Prague first. And if we play like we did last night, mate, Jesus Christ, we'll be getting knocked out.
I prefer being at home first as well. I do prefer being at home because I think they if you get you're in the lead and going into the set, they have to chase the game. I think it's better to be at home first anyway. I don't know why people. Yeah, because you've also got in the extra time, you've also got that extra half an hour for that away goal. So, which Tottenham did not take advantage of last night, but I think it's much better to play at home first than it is away. I just seen Joe Hart having to explain his Instagram post.
Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah. Anybody who doesn't know, right, basically, Joe Hart's media team made a right cock up and they shared Tottenham's Instagram post of the final score and they put it out on Joe Hart's Insta saying job done with a tick. Yeah, he's had to come out with a full apology. Yeah, what an absolute dickhead. Like, literally. Like, he must have texted him and said 3-0. So they must have thought, sweet, and not even checked the Insta post and just shared the post and just put job done. Like, seriously, come on.
On last night's performance, I'm not taking too much into it because I think it's very difficult to, when you're already 3-1 up, to play the game that we will expect us to play, because you're already in your head mentally, you're already in the next round, aren't you? So, and I can understand that performance. But I can't understand Aubameyang's performance last night because he's been given a chance and he doesn't seem to be. I don't know if he's still got the ump about what happened on Sunday. I don't know if he's still. The way he was just put to the bench on Sunday. Lucky that he didn't take him out of the squad completely. But he was poor last night, very poor performance. And I just feel that I now start to think, and Lacazette gives us a better balance. Even though he's a better goal scorer, I still think Lacazette gives the team a better balance and gets more players involved in the team than Aubameyang, and maybe
the one thing I'll say about Lacazette is when he don't score, he still maybe does something more so than Aubameyang. If Aubameyang don't score, he does nothing, literally nothing. Yeah, and Aubameyang, if you look at the games he's played and the games he's scored, we're carrying a passenger in a lot of them games because if he don't score, he does fuck all. Yeah, whereas Lacazette, I don't particularly rate him. And I think Aubameyang's the better goal scorer, but that's all he is, just an out-and-out goal scorer. Whereas Lacazette, he will run back and fill in midfield. He will get the ball back. He will spray it round the corner and pass it to Saka or to Pepe or to whoever it is. And he does work a lot better.
I don't think the result was ever in doubt anyway. Because to me, they only had one player that I think probably is capable of scoring. That was the striker. I mean, if he puts that one away in the first half, maybe. But even then, that was a poor finish. I expect him to do better than that because if he puts it to one side of Leno, he's got no chance. He's put it straight at him, hasn't he? So, apart from that, he was the only real danger to score last night, and I couldn't see them scoring 3. So, I think we just went into that game thinking we're through now, and it's very difficult to mentally motivate yourself to play well. I think if we'd gone into the game 1-1 or just one goal in front, I think it would have been a better performance. But that's my opinion. I think maybe Kenny's going to disagree with me. I think.
Yeah, let me come on to Kenny. Give me your thoughts on the draw, and then just give me a little breakdown of last night and Aubameyang, and then I'll come to Chig.
Well, the thing about the draw is that Arsenal fans are getting excited, but this is the business end of the tournament. You never ever get excited. You never ever, play Villarreal or play Man United before you play Slavia Prague. As Claude says, they've had some fantastic results. They actually drew their home legs against Leicester in the last 32 and Rangers in the last 16. And then in the away games where they make themselves, difficult to beat on the counter-attack, in terms of like their attack, they're fantastic. So they're going to be very, very dangerous as well. They're going to look at the Arsenal game as well and think, well, yeah, Arsenal's a big, big club, a big team, but in the league, they're very inconsistent. They're still a very like young side in terms of like where the manager wants it to be. So they're going to feel the same way as us about their passage into the final. So it's a 50-50 game, contrary to what Arsenal fans think. And I think that Arsenal fans and players and everyone associated with the club will be very mistaken if they're actually mentally calculating their voyages to the semi-finals and the finals. Play one game at a time. Put some respect in Slavia Prague's name, because they are dangerous and they're unknown. As Tottenham fans, they're yesterday in terms of their game with Zagreb. In terms of the match yesterday, as Claude says, once you mentally think you're in the quarters already, your tempo just slows down. And in terms of like Olympiacos, they had nothing to lose. They were never going to go gun ho. It was always going to be like the measured approach. Make sure that they're compact, don't give anything away in the first half, and the second half, just up the tempo a little bit more, get more bodies forward, and see what happens. They got a good goal, and then afterwards, I thought towards the end, not only did they get tired, the quality of final pass was so poor that probably got us off the hook, because we were always kind of on the back foot, and it took for the substitution of Nelly and Ceballos for us to get a little bit of control. But even then, Olympiacos still looked lightly. In terms of Aubameyang's performances, well, what's new? He's becoming like a Mesut Ozil situation where he's a big fish in a small pond, that you can't analyse his performances forensically, that you have, because of what he did previously, he has to have credit in the bank and he has to be an automatic choice. And we got impatient. Not really. If we were, say, first or second or third and we're going for the title, and maybe we will give him credit in the back because we can actually carry him, but we actually can't carry Aubameyang because we're 10th, and everyone's performances have to be analysed, and everyone's places are up for grabs. And as I said yesterday, poor old Lacazette, must be thinking, hang on, what have I done wrong? I've been playing well, you left me out, and this guy's come back, and it's just hit and miss. And I say it, without any sort of fear, that position, that centre forward, is something we need to look at. And I'm not just talking about someone to support him, someone to replace him, and maybe just shift him out to the left where he could be more effective. It really isn't a good show this season from Aubameyang, and I'm not going to look at previous years. I'm taking no prisoners. You know what I'm like.
Yeah. Why do people? I don't get why people listen. I ain't tapping out on him, but at the same time, you judge him on what he's doing this season. What's last season got to do with this season?
Well, in a lot of Arsenal fans' eyes, a lot, because apparently, and this is where they let themselves down a lot. Without his goals, we were being relegated, which basically symbolises how far we've fallen. That a player, rather than goals, have saved us. Well, propelled us into finals, and propelled us, well, which he did last season, but propelled us into the top four and propelled us into the challenge, is now saving us from relegation. That is an indictment of this club, and it just shows that we've got a small club mentality when one player is big in the club. Big clubs don't have that. Even Barcelona, Man City, and all the clubs. Obviously, you have players like Messi that stands out at Barca, but they're still the team, although they're in decline. But when teams are on their top, you talk about a team.
Look at what you just said about Man City. Look at Aguero. Yeah, he can barely get a game. He'd walk into any team in the Premier League. He can't get a game for City because the way Pep said to him, "Yo, you're not the biggest guy at this club. You might be here for 8 years. You might be the all-time top scorer. Who cares? I want to win the quadruple, mate, and you're going to be a part of it. But you need to sit down, and when I pick you, you need to perform." Yeah. Obviously, Man City, people sit there and say they've spent an absolute fortune on their squad. Whoopee. Yeah, is it illegal to spend money?
No, it's not.
It's all about how you manage the players, and I feel like I'm not having a dig at Arteta here because I think the way he handled that situation at the weekend, fair play, I would have dropped him as well. If he turns up late, you're sorry. He's lucky he even got the bench because I would have sent him home. Yeah, and I wouldn't have started him last night either. But I said this to you guys last night on the fan cams and that, like, for me, you get picked the next day or the next game, you got to be the best player on the pitch, and you got to show that you want it. And he didn't do that last night. Absolutely disgraceful, mate. And if we want to win this tournament, he better fix up.
The only thing I would say about last night, and maybe not just him and the rest of the team, I remember when we lost 3-1 at home to Bayern Munich. The same thing happened again. We went to Munich and we won 2-0. Remember that, Kenny?
Well, yeah, definitely. I think what it is that,
and I think and Munich just stood off and just, in their head they're already through.
100%. But I think in terms of Aubameyang, it's a situation where it's not because of what he did last night. It's that similar performances this season have been disappointing, and also there's a leadership issue as well. That when we lose or when we draw, we don't see him present himself to the media there. If that happens once, you think, all right, no problem. When it happens consistently, where he's not, answering and speaking up for himself in front of the media, especially when we've had adverse results, you have to say, well, what's going on here? It's not just the performances; it's the leadership as well and attitude, which is not the level that it was last season and the season before.
I see a similar problem with Aubameyang, and I remember this with VIEIRA. Do you remember that year he was about to leave and then signed a new contract, the 2000, I think, and then we went on to win. We went on to win the FA Cup that year. The season after the Invincibles, he was about to start. He was about. Was it? No, not after the Invincibles. Was it after? Well, one season after we won. And he was about to sign, and then he decided to sign it. And then the next summer, he went, didn't he? He signed an extended contract, and the next summer he went. Remember?
Well, I think to make a question, I think Chig's going to agree with this as well. This is not the first time it's happened. We had it with Vieira, and we had it with Henry as well when he left to Barcelona. The next season was a washout. And I think really, really, truly, if you leave it to the 11th hour, what's happened with Arsenal on a sort of high percentage times, it isn't working the next season afterwards because they have to be mentally on it. The contract has to be signed and they have to be fully committed. And if you're selling the club to them at this stage, then it's not workable, especially at Arsenal Football Club. Maybe at other clubs, but Arsenal Football Club, it's not workable.
He'll be gone. If we're not in the Champions League, he'll be gone next season.
That's his prerogative.
No, but I think that's what will happen. I think I'll get that feeling.
Let me come to Chig. Obviously, I haven't really spoke to you much today, and obviously the draw has taken place. What are your thoughts on the draw? And then just give me a little breakdown on ABBA and whether you think we're going to get past Slavia Prague. You're on mute, mate.
Sorry about that. I'm going to be really bitchy here and say because I've not done a reaction video, I'm going to do one at 6:30. So wait to my reaction video for my thoughts on the draw. But let's just say I lean more towards what Kenny Ken said, but I'll elaborate in my video later. Let's just say if I'm Arsenal, don't pay attention to people saying it's an easy draw. That's when we'll get knocked out. But anyway, I think in terms of Aubameyang's performance, I think me and you kind of talked quite deeply about it yesterday. And I agree with what Kenny Kans just said. I think a lot of it depends on how much we had to convince him to stay. If it was just a case of us throwing enough money at him that he had to stay, then he's almost stayed for the wrong reason, and that explains the performances that we're getting. However, I'd like to think, and I don't even really know why, I'd like to think that that's not the case. I'd like to think that the man was already comfortable where he was. Because let's face it, he's built an ABBA world where he is at Arsenal, rightly or wrongly, he's very, very comfortable. All his people are around him. The dressing room loves him. From his perspective, it all depends on, and to be honest, one of our, shall we say, former colleagues at this point in terms of Zach, has always questioned how There's always questioned how.
Well, he was on Claude's podcast.
He was on Claude's show, I know.
Today, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's not talking to me at the moment. But yes,
to the point where Helen said, "Come on, guys, I'm leaving if you're going to keep arguing."
I did see that. I did see that. It was entertaining. But no, yeah. Zach has always questioned how ambitious he is as a footballer, and I must admit, I do agree, because I do tend to agree. If he really wanted to move, I'd like to think he would have moved, regardless of £375,000 a week. But in terms of what I think, in terms of his performance, there's no doubt he's not had a good season. Is he? I won't say entitled, but after having 5-6 years of having very prolific seasons, was he due a season like this? Of course, he was. I guess the question now is, all right, now Abba, we need you. If we're going to win this title, if we're going to win this cup competition, and regardless of where you stand on the Arteta discussion, I think we all want to win this competition.
100%.
We now need you to step up. So it's almost a bit of a trial with the fans that he has at the moment, whereby we're now asking him, if you really give a damn and you really care about the club, and you are the player that we hope you still are, then you will step up and you will adapt your game, and you will be, and you'll find your touch again. Unfortunately for him, and I said this in our fan cams, he's the only top striker in the Premier League that hasn't adapted his game. And me and you called this 18 months ago, that he's going to have to find another way to not rely on his pace, to not rely on that sheer burst of pace, because eventually it's going to fail him. I always compare him to Jamie Vardy.
He's not that quick. We've all seen him live at the games. He is not that quick.
I've always compared him to.
I think he is.
I've always compared him to Jamie Vardy, because I think he's that sort of player that always.
Vardy's quicker than him.
Always
in terms of pace.
That always relied on his pace. But I think with Vardy, what we've seen, for me, I loved his performance last week in the Iheanacho. Iheanacho, funny enough, is a Nigerian player I don't particularly rate. But what I liked about him is that Vardy actually spotlighted Iheanacho in such a very clever way with his movement, that he allowed Iheanacho to shine. I can't imagine Aubameyang being able to do that, because, like you say, more often than not, for Aubameyang to have a good game, he has to score. I have seen Aubameyang, though, have a good game and do everything but scoring, but it doesn't happen enough. It's almost like he needs a rest, and he needs to come into the game super fresh to be able to look like he's given a damn. And I'd like him to be a bit more selfless, not necessarily in front of goal, but be more of a team player. If it's not happening for you, then do everything but. Sacrifice your game for the good of the team. Is he capable of that? I don't know.
No, mate, listen, we had a bit of, it wasn't an argument or a debate or anything, but when he had a pop at Kieran Tierney last night, I went off on one. And it's not because I love Tierney. It's because Tierney said to him, down the line. And Aubameyang went to make the run, stopped, and then Tierney popped the ball. But he'd already made the movement to pass the ball, so he couldn't stop it. And then he had a go at Tierney for that. And I was like, nah, mate, you're taking the piss now. Because you're just having a go at him because you're having a shit game. And you've missed 3 good chances in the game.
Maybe, but
don't take that out on other players when you're the captain.
Let's face it, we've all played football. We've all had frustrating games where, like you say, it's not going well for the team, it's not going well for you, and you're just looking to take your frustration out on anybody or anything. For me, I'm not going to have a go at him for that. I'm more concerned with him trying to step up to a level where he helps that team, because, like Claude, I think, alluded to earlier, it could have easily gone wrong yesterday. We lost the game. People are not paying attention to that side of things.
People are forgetting because they're too busy laughing at Tottenham.
But we lost the game yesterday. It's by sheer luck that El Nene decided he had his shooting boots on last week. Otherwise, we'd be crying alongside Tottenham right now. So I think people need to kind of realize that, we can't afford to have another one of those performances from Aubameyang. Or if he is in that sort of mood, play Lacazette. Because like I said yesterday, I think he's adapted his game more than Aubameyang over the last 12 months, in my personal opinion. I think Lacazette realizes He's not as quick as perhaps he used to be, even though I don't think Lacazette was that quick anyway, but he's not as quick as he used to be. So Lacazette's had to be a bit more clever with his movement. He's had to be more clever with his strength. And I think Aubameyang needs to learn to do the same because he's not strong. And if his pace is now gone, he's literally just movement now. So he needs to figure out a way to become effective.
Yeah. Big up to Ola in the chat. It's his niece's 13th birthday today. Oh, bruv, you need to keep eyes on her now, man. She's a teenager, bruv. Like, seriously, you're gonna have to start slapping heads. Seriously, you need to vet all the boyfriends. You need to vet their families. Like, seriously. And hope you're well, man. Hope the family's well. Happy birthday to her, man. But no, like, you're right. What you said, like, can he adapt his game though? That's the problem, because when you look at Harry Kane's what, 3 years younger than him, and he's adapted, or 2.5, 3 years, something like that, and he's adapted his game this season. By the way, he looked shattered last night. Yeah, he looked worn out. Yeah, maybe he's worn out with Jose, I don't know, but he just looked worn out. Yeah, he looked worn out, and I think that's because he's been playing deeper role, but he's got more about his game than Aubameyang has, which is why he can drop deeper now and start doing the natural progression.
And
like
Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy's got
Vardy.
Jamie Vardy's still rapid, and he's 34.
Vardy can bring players into the game as well. Look what he does. You remember last week again, as Chig was going on about that hat trick from Iniacho, but he had a lot big part to play in that. Big
100%, 100%.
Yeah, it's true. And this is the thing. Like, where do we go with this guy? Because I'm not tapping out on him. I want to see him. Like, he said he wants to be a legend. We'll prove it then. Yeah, yes, because last night would be my challenge. Yeah, last night you didn't. Last night you were having a go at everyone else and missing sitters. Like you said to me, Chig, yeah, when he went clean through and he tried to chip the keeper, you went, let's be real. Did anyone expect him to score?
The whole time, did you see me move when he went 1-on-1?
Nope.
I just, in my mind, I was just like, he's missing, and he missed.
But we shouldn't be feeling that, because this is one of the top strikers in terms of goals in the last 5-6 seasons in Europe. Why are we not confident that he's going to go 1-on-1 and score? It's mad, isn't it? It's actually mad. But you know what? I was saying this, we were speaking about this with Rance earlier. When he scored that goal in the cup final, it was instinctive. He done that little turn past Zuma, dink, all in one fluid, quick movement. Yeah. When he's got time, and this is, I'm going to compare him to Walcott, right? Yeah. And I've done that before, and I go viral every time because people bring up that tweet all the time where I said, "Are we going to sign the Gabonese Theo Walcott?" Right. But when Theo was instinctive and he didn't have time, bang, back of the net. Yeah, look at the goal against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge where he fell over, he's up, boom, 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 goal. Yeah, there's goals against Newcastle where he's done it as well. He scored a hat-trick that night in the 7-3, I think it was. But he got knocked down, he back up and chip. But when Theo had time, he bottled it pretty much every time, because you think about it too much and you think, well, what do I do? Oh, the keeper's moved. Oh, the centre. Okay, so what I'll do. And by the time you thought about it, the chance is gone. Because it's.
But you know what? I'm going to say something controversial.
I'm not saying he's on Walcott level, by the way, because he's above Walcott. But
I'll say something equally controversial. Henry weren't the greatest 1-on-1. He weren't. But Henry had a lot more things to his game that was able to compensate for that. Henry didn't just. No one ever looks at Henry and thinks to himself, "Oh, he was just pace." He was so much more than that. And I think that's the difference between whenever someone compares Henry to Aubameyang, I'm like, how do you figure? Like to me, I see one player that relies purely on his pace, and another player that has a lot more, that has so much more to his game. There's a reason why Henry always racked assists. There's a reason why Aubameyang doesn't.
Henry was a great footballer. Yeah, he wasn't the greatest of one-on-one finishers. You're right with that. Yeah, but he was a great footballer, and his footballing IQ was insane. Like, he knew where everyone was on the pitch at all times. He knew where he was on the pitch at all times. He knew where the goalkeeper was. Yeah, and the amount of times, like, he'd just do that little slide rule one in the bottom corner. You knew it's coming. You couldn't stop it, because he perfected that, because he wanted to be better. And this is the thing. I don't get that vibe with Aubameyang where he wants to be better.
Can I say something controversial? You've said all that, So why
Go
is
on.
it that a majority of Arsenal fans still say Bergkamp is the best player that the club's ever had?
Bergkamp is the best player the club's ever had.
No, you just described that Henri had all these attributes, but people say Bergkamp's better than Henri in terms of what Arsenal.
Yeah, Bergkamp was better than Henri.
Muted yourself.
He's muted himself.
We need to have this debate another time. Arsenal greatest players.
Bergkamp's a better footballer
Henri.
than Thierry Henry, but Thierry Henry, in terms of footballing ability and footballing IQ, yeah, was up there with some of the best. Yeah, but for me, Bergkamp was a level above him. Yeah, Bergkamp was a level above him. For me, Bergkamp's the best footballer Arsenal have ever had in my lifetime. Yeah, like I know you and Claude are a little bit like older, but
you know what? That's another debate. That's another debate.
Maybe we could do that next week because it's international week, so there's no games. Maybe we could say who was better, Henry or Bergkamp.
Hey! I need to be your agent.
throw Kanu in
always
it.
come out with good ideas, isn't it?
Kanu, you know, that's it, Kanu.
I always come up with good ideas, don't I?
Yeah, come on, you're just dropping these little bombs in there. But no, honestly, what do you think we should do with him, Claude? Like, should we cash in on him? Do we wrap an arm around him and say, listen, you wanted to be the top boy, you're the captain. Like, we obviously don't get to see him day to day. We don't get to know what's going on really behind the scenes and that, yeah? Right, and he just...
Would you actively sell him? I'd accept an... Sorry, Claude, I know you asked you the question. But I don't know if I'd actively sell him, but I'd accept an offer. Does that make sense?
So
I
you
wouldn't
go out and try
actively
shopping around to get a club.
Wouldn't actively look to flog him, but I'd if a good enough offer came in, I'd consider it. Yeah.
What about you, Claude?
Yeah, I think yeah, I would sell him. I would definitely sell him because we always say we haven't got the funds at the moment to carry on. We haven't got big match fan, and we could get 40, 50, couldn't we, for him? Easy.
Maybe, yeah. Well, yeah, definitely 40 at least.
Yeah,
it's very,
40,
but people will be watching this saying like, "Oh, why are you tapping out on him?" None of us are tapping out on him, by the way. We're just saying that
I would get a goal scoring midfielder and have someone like that, and have Lacazette up front or Martinelli, one of them two. I wouldn't lose any sleep if he went. To be honest with you.
The problem is there's a question mark on all of our strikers right now, other than Martinelli. So, like Eddie Nketiah, would you keep him? No. Lacazette, would you keep him if Aubameyang stays?
We've got a good young kid in the waiting to come on like Balogun. He could be the way. He could be the answer.
I hope he stays. I every day that passes, I doubt.
There's no way that guy's staying. He's gone, bruv. He's gone.
Every day that passes.
But this is the thing. You're right. We've got a question mark on every striker. Aubameyang's having the worst season he's ever had. But is this just a one-off? Well, we don't know. But then do we go into next season and do it again? Yeah. Then we've got Lacazette, who's into the last year of his contract and ain't really prolific anyway. Yeah. Then we've got Eddie Nketiah. Well, sorry, mate, you're championship level, with all due respect. Yeah, I'm sure he's a nice fella and all that, but no. Yeah, then we've got Balogun, potentially could be good, but is about to walk out the club for nothing. And then we've got Martinelli, who's a striker being converted to a striker who came on the left wing yesterday.
But to be fair, he likes playing left wing. He prefers to play left wing.
Yeah, but guess what? He's still a striker.
I have a problem with Aubameyang because you can't play, as you say, down the middle, right? And I think we've got good players wide, haven't we? We've got Pepe, we've got Saka, we've got all these players wide. So I'm not sure whether we really need him. If we can get a decent, even that guy from Celtic, I wouldn't mind, someone like that. I mean, I don't think we need him. I don't think he's. In fact, I think he's more disruptive to us as a team.
Do you think this is going into Henri territory then? Like, because it got to the point with Henri in his last season. Everyone had to give him the ball. Everything. Do you remember? Everything had to go through him. This reminds me of Ian Wright.
This reminds me of Ian Wright's situation where we bought Ian Wright. And I love Ian Wright. Don't get me wrong, but I thought we turned into a cup side when we bought Ian Wright.
We are a cup side.
We turned into a cup side, and everything was all about Ian Wright and it was stopping other players. You know, we wasn't getting the right balance, and you can't. I don't think you can keep relying on one player to get you all your goals.
Mm.
And if you do, and when he's not playing well, then you're stuck, aren't you? So I actually think we should cash in on him, to be honest with you. I don't think many of you will agree with me, but I think we should cash in.
Well, what do you reckon, Kenny?
Well, I've been of the opinion in the last couple of seasons where, for greed, and because of the balance of the team, I've always thought that he'd be a sacrifice that we needed in order to improve in other areas. And my mind hasn't changed. That's nothing to do with him as a footballer, but I've always recognised that when he's coming to that time when he's still in his prime, where clubs will pay big money for him. Last season, I was ready for him to be sold when he's at his best, in order that we have money to buy other players, and that hasn't changed. And this season itself, I still have that same opinion in terms of like let's sell and let's improve in other areas. That's not personal.
I think at one point last season, when it was coming in down to the last couple of months of his contract, I think all of us said just cash in, didn't we?
Yeah.
See, oh God, no. See, I look at it this way. I think, right, we paid all that. We paid that money. We paid that wage bill on what he's done in the past, rather than what he can give us in the future. If you understand, you get what I mean.
Oh, Claude, 100% get what you mean, and I think what it is that you're rewarding him because of what he's done previously, definitely. But you want a situation where you think, right, it sends a message, and we can keep, what the manager thought was our best players. So it sends a message to the squad, and it also sends a message to potential players that can come to the football club. However, we're in a situation now where we're getting mixed messages. We're still spending a lot of money. We paid cash for Partey. We're still paying the highest wages in the Premiership. Yet people are still saying we ain't got that money to spend. We've got a very small budget. Well, if we really have got a small budget and we really want to reduce the wage bill still, even after getting rid of the Ozils, the Kolasinacs, and the Mustafis, then I'm sorry. Moving forward, there is a, how do I say it? There is a cow with loads of beef on him, which we can.
And let's be honest here as well, Kenny. Sorry to butt in, but let's be honest here. If we was to sell him this summer for say 40 million quid, yes, we've lost money on what we've bought him for, but in terms of him helping us win an FA Cup, his goals that he's got us into Europa League, yay. Yeah, when you strip it back, he ain't really helped us do a great deal. But without him, we would have been even more fucked. Yeah, like literally, we like without 29 goals last season, we don't win the FA Cup, and we don't get the season before 22 goals, we don't finish what we finished. Yeah?
I agree with you, Lee. But what I'm looking at, and Solskjaer made a great point today. He made a great point. I think it was the other day. He said, "Judge your team progress by not what the trophy." But by what they're doing in the league,
100%. I think
you can win an FA Cup, right? And it can paper over the cracks. Yes, because if the league form is not improving, and he made a great point. Look at your team, how it's progressing more in the league than cup competition. Because I'll give you an example. Who would you say is given more to Spurs? Bringing Spurs forward, one day Ramis who won the League Cup, or Pochettino who built that team.
It's a question. It's not even. It's a question where. All right, it's a question that
who's contributed better to.
It's a Poch. The Poch is pound per pound. Spurs' best manager since Keith Birkinshaw. It's not even a discussion.
Showing your age there, mate.
I know, but Keith, if you look at Spurs managers over the years, you've got Bill Nicholson, then you've got Keith Birkinshaw, then you've got the Poch. But Keith Birkinshaw won European trophies and he's won the FA Cups. And Bill Nicholson obviously won a double and he's won in Europe as well in the FA Cups. But pound in terms of where Spurs were in the league, the Poch is their best manager.
It depends what you want as a football club and where you are as a football club and what you want to do as a football club going forward. Because Tottenham, like for Ollie Solskjaer to come out and say that, on one hand he's right, because your league table don't lie. Yeah. Despite what Arteta sexuals on Twitter say, yeah, the league table don't lie. Deluded Arteta fans do. We're 10th. Yeah. Winning an FA Cup and winning trophies, and this is where I have Ollie wrong. Yeah. And so on that, but he's managing Manchester United. Yeah. If that was maybe Tottenham, West Ham, or Everton, Aston Villa coming out with that, then I'd go, yeah, cool. Because you're not expected to go and win trophies.
Yeah, no, but
one respect, but on the other respect,
I don't judge it. I mean, you can win an FA Cup and be relegated. Hey, you can win an FA Cup and be relegated.
No, I get that, and that's what I'm saying. It depends which football club. No, but that's what I'm saying. It depends which team you're managing.
Yeah, but no,
whether
you're saying that, Nick.
Right.
But yeah, at the end of the day, though, if you're looking at the progress of the club in 2 years or 3 years beyond, and it's not making any progress, you're going to forget about that FA Cup because your club is getting worse. It's going down a level. So
okay, let me ask you this, George. Right? As a Wigan fan, if you go and ask a Wigan fan, do they care that they've got relegated? Of course they do. But they'll never forget winning that FA Cup against Man City when the ginger
and Birmingham City as well.
Forget that, and the game is about winning trophies.
Yeah, but hold on. Look, Birmingham City won the cup. Have they ever recovered from that relegation?
No, I get that, and that's what I was saying. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying that when he's managing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying that when he's managing one of the biggest clubs on the planet. In one respect, he's right. Yeah, he's right. The league don't lie, and that's how good you've been all season. Fluking an FA Cup, yeah, can paper over how shit your season's been, which it did with us last season. Yeah. Look. Hang on, let me finish. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, when you're managing Manchester United, and you're saying that, I'm sorry, Man United should be challenging for everything in Europe, everything in the league, every single cup competition.
I think you're missing his point. You're missing his point. He's looking at where the team is progressing. He's not saying, of course, they want to win every trophy. Everyone wants to win trophy, but he's looking at how the team is progressing. Yeah.
Yeah, but are they progressing?
Even you said the other day. You said not pulling you up about it, but you said if Arteta wins Europa League, you want him out.
Yeah.
Right, and that's a trophy. So you're going against what you're meaning.
No. The reason I want him out is for the same reason Chelsea fans wanted Di Matteo out. He ain't fucking good enough.
Oh, but then this is the trophy.
You're a joker, boy. Look at this dickhead. Look. This joker. Do you know what? I've got supercharged back home as well, yeah? Like, never have these issues, bruv. Never. But no, thank you, man. Appreciate that, G. But no,
I get you, but I just feel that I think you made a great point about that because I just feel that at the end of the day, you're judged, if you're not doing well in the league, if you're not making because at the end of the day, we want to be challenging for titles.
Okay, but are Manchester United making progress under Ollie Solskjaer? I don't think they are.
Well, no, they are in a way because they're second in the league this year.
Yeah, what does second get you? First loser.
No, exactly. But exactly. But it's progress as a team. I'd rather be second than 10th.
Will you win the same? Nothing.
You don't win the same, but you're still progressing, and
but are they progressing? The reason I said are they progressing is if you look at the league this season, George. Yeah, if you look at the league this season, Man City have walked a title. Man City have walked it. So have they progressed on what they did last season to this season? Because this league's shit. Yeah, in terms of yes, we've got a lot of teams left in European competitions. Great, cool, fantastic. But if you actually look at the league table, apart from Man City, who have got the best squad in the country, the rest of them are all pretty fucking shit. Yeah, so have they actually progressed? Yes, the league position has progressed, but they've gone from fourth to second. But have they actually progressed? They probably ain't.
And not only that, you've got to also look at it. Not every team can win all I want my team to do is actually challenge. They can't win it every year. Not every team can win it every year.
No, I know that. But what I'm saying is when you're managing Manchester United and you've had the money he's had available to him, he spent 80 million quid on a fucking fridge. Yeah. He's done fucking millions of pounds on footballers that are bang average, but he's had the money. So as Man United manager, Manchester United manager, forget us and Tottenham for now and other clubs, Man United manager to come out and say, don't judge us on trophies. I'm sorry, that's a fucking disgrace. Don't judge me on trophies. It's Man United, the most successful club in this country. But on the other hand, yes, he does have a point. The league table doesn't lie. And where you finish is how good you are as a football team. But at the same time, he should be judged on trophies and league position. Yeah, he's won fuck all trophies and he sneaked fourth on the last day last season. And this season, I don't think they're any better. And he spent more. But if it's Tottenham and you say, don't judge me on trophies, you can go, okay, cool, it's Tottenham. Yeah, cool.
I'm just saying what our team has progressed over the years, league-wise, but not won a trophy. And managers are rated for winning a trophy and taking the team backwards. And that's how I see it. And Arteta,
what do you make of this, Kenny?
He won the FA Cup last year, but look where we are this year. When in the league.
Well, talking to Man United, they actually finished third on goal difference to Chelsea, but in terms of what Ole says, to be honest, he's trying to big himself up in a way, in my opinion, because he's looked at the situation where under Mourinho, they finished six, 1-2 trophies, League Cup and the Europa League. Then the second season they finished second, 19 points behind Man City. And the second season, Mourinho loses his job and Ole takes over. And he's trying to say, well, yeah, we progressed. But you have to look at this, like forensically. There was a time when Man United found themselves challenged from the league. But in terms of like being neck to neck with Man City, lost at home to Sheffield United, unacceptable. Drawing with us, in terms of like their record against the big six clubs, not acceptable. Drawing to Chelsea, Liverpool, we now know are beatable at Anfield. They missed the boat. So in terms of what Ole's trying to say, he's giving people mixed messages. However, turn it around now in terms of what Arsenal are, right? You're like me. You're gonna, even if we win the Europa League, you're gonna look at the league position and say, well, this is not acceptable, because the only barometer of genuine progress in football club is if we have a high league position and we maintain that into the next season. Because, if I was like the board and I put my trust in Arteta, I said, right, well done, all right, we're putting our trust into you, but I'm going to look at the league results. If I'm keeping you, or say there's one person who doesn't want to keep, says, well, sorry, these results are not acceptable. We've lost 11 league games, so far. We don't know what it's going to be like in May. But if we finish 10th, we finished 8th last season, where is the progress? People are saying that we're defending better. We've got better players. We've got a better pattern to play. But we finished 8th last season in a very factious season, because half of that was in Emery's. In his first full season, although there isn't progress because the results are not saying that. So, in a way, Ole Gunnar has got a point, because we're saying the same thing about Arteta. We still want him replaced if he wins the Europa League, because we're not satisfied with the league position, because we genuinely believe that we should be challenged for the league. The top four, minimum, because remember, Arsenal are saying we weren't happy with the top four because we fell way behind City and Chelsea. So that is the same level of expectancy for Mikel, and that's why, results in the league has to be a barometer. But in terms of what you're saying about Man United, you're right as well. They have to win trophies because they haven't won anything for 4 years. So that point, I get you.
And I think the cup competitions over the last few years have been completely devalued anyway, because you've got teams that...
Oh, they're not, Claude. No, Claude, they're devalued until Arsenal win one. Then it's the greatest thing in the fucking world.
No, I said it even when we win it. It's devalued because a lot of these teams play their reserves in the competition. They don't play all their full teams. It's not a competition it was 30 years ago. Definitely not. In fact,
that's true. No, that's true.
The League Cup has become better than the FA Cup now.
No, that's true. That's true. But no, this is the thing. Like, Ole Solskjaer shouldn't be coming out saying that when he's managing one of the biggest clubs on the planet. But at the same time, he is right. It just depends what club you're at. Yeah, like Arsenal, we've papered over cracks with FA Cups for a decade.
Oh, exactly. And not only
Chig,
that,
don't like that papering over the cracks line, do you, Chig?
If it wasn't for the FA Cup,
You're on mute, mate. You're on mute.
Wenger would have gone ages ago, wouldn't he? We might be in a better position. So
I hate the expression, but that's the answer to this whole debate, isn't it? We've actually tried to place value in those competitions because, like Kenny Ken says, we're so far away from our expectation of winning a league. We have to get success from somewhere. So FA Cup now is seen as, I won't say the pinnacle, but the reason why certain people are still in jobs. Let's be honest here. That's the reason why Mikel Arteta is still seen as this man who can possibly save us and become this superstar manager because he's won us an FA Cup in his first season. It's just like, all right, don't get me wrong, winning a cup is always a fantastic thing, but actually the honesty of winning a league and the consistency of where you finish in a league is there's something honest about it. That's why I quite like looking at where people finish in the league, because whenever people try and tell you some shit like, oh, Arsenal are defending better, really? Do you know that we haven't had a clean sheet in 11 games? So what are people talking about?
Let me come back to this comment real quick.
I don't understand.
Let me find it again. This comment, which ties in with what you've just said. There is progress with Arteta. Big up, Tony, for your comment, mate. It says, go and check out Arteta versus the Big Six. He's instilled defending as a unit and the team into Arsenal before we're a team of individual errors. Well, that's factually incorrect, because if you go back to Unai Emery's full season, we beat Chelsea, we beat Man United, we beat Tottenham, and we were slapping goals for fun.
Yeah.
We beat VIEIRA, in a semi-final. We slapped 7 past them. Yeah. It's like this notion, it's not honestly, Tony, but this notion that we're better at the back. We've conceded 7 goals less than Fulham.
I know we were shocked by his comment, but this is the bottom line of things. And let's be real here. It was probably the most honest I've seen anybody on a podcast, was when Mike said the other day, the reason why he feels that we're defending better is because we're losing by less goals. It's not a comment. It's not a comment that any of us liked. It's not a comment that any of us liked. But let's be real here. That is what people mean when they say that.
Yeah, we're just losing better.
We're just not getting smacked. Okay, fabulous. We're not getting smacked. Last time I checked, we're still not getting points for that. But I respect it, because at least it was honest. It was honest. That was the reason why he felt that we were defending better. But to me, whenever people say, "Oh, we're defending better," I think bullshit. Look at our league. Look at how many goals we're conceding. The fact that we haven't kept a clean sheet in 11 games. And prior to that, it was a 5-game run that we had a clean sheet little spell.
Yeah,
around
Christmas,
yeah. Other than that, show me where we're defending better. It's nonsense. It's a myth. Look
at last night, right? Look at last night. Yeah, we had 12 shots. They had 8. Yeah, that doesn't tell the full story.
Yeah.
They don't tell the full story.
Yeah.
People always harp on about this game against fucking Watford where we had 30 shots against us. That's all they've got. The fact and reality is we didn't win a trophy under that previous manager. And rightly so, he eventually got sacked. Yeah. But just because this manager has won a trophy and could potentially win this trophy doesn't mean he's any better and he's improved us.
Yeah.
It just means he's managed to win 2 trophies that we managed to win.
And that, for me, listen, I know people pick on him all the time, and I don't want it to turn into a thing where you guys go and chase him. But I've deliberately not said anything about Claude's co-host Terry and his opinion, but purely on the basis that I watched the show, purely on the basis that I watched the show today, and I was just thinking to myself, so you'd give Arteta, regardless of what happened.
I know what you're going to say. I heard it as well. I watched it.
And in my mind, I just thought, so you've literally just picked that day up from anywhere, just from the back of your head, not because he deserves to go at Christmas, just because you feel that would be appropriate at that particular time period, rather than what he's doing now. Because to be perfectly frank, and I feel like I'm quite reasonable when it comes to Arteta, had he lost yesterday, the motherfucker would have got a call this morning. Say, sorry, you're gone.
Do you think so?
I would have done it. I would have done it.
You think Arsenal would have done that? No,
I don't think Arsenal would have done that. Eddie's confused. So I don't think that would have actually happened. But I personally would have done that.
I don't, because they according to ex-players, this project's for 2023, mate. So.
No, but this is the thing, though. Like I watched that as well. And big up to Terry. Listen, he's stuck to his guns and he's doing the complete opposite of what I'm doing, but he's backing it. So I don't want this manager, and I ain't changing. Yeah. And he's doing the complcomplete opposite. But
I don't want it to be a thing where people chase it. It's just because his opinion I found interesting.
Are you talking about people that 1 week in, out,
At least Terry's consistent. Exactly.
Yeah, this is why when people are consistent with it.
Certain fan chants, in, out, shaking it
all about screaming and shouting and jumping up and down like an absolute dickhead when you're 50 years old. Yeah, fucking like fucking seriously, mate, or 60 years old, 70, whatever you are, yeah, like flipping and flopping every week is what has lowered the tone of this fan base in terms of where our standards were and where they now are. It's because we've got too many people that have got on platforms like this, like AFTV, like other channels that have got big followings, and 1 week they're fucking jumping up and down like fucking idiots at Tottenham losing, yeah, and cheering that more than us fucking winning and trying to score a goal, conveniently forgetting we lost last night. And then you've got the following week, yeah, oh, well, I'm Arteta out. Oh, I'm Wenger out. I'm fucking Emery out. Then the next week we beat Man United or we beat Chelsea. Oh, give him another year. And that has gone over fucking 5, 6, 7, 8 years now into a fan base that is fucking confused. It's confused because a lot of people watch me. They watch Claude. They watch Kenny. They watch Chig. They watch AFTV. They watch Wizzy. They watch all these other channels. Yeah. And the one thing you'll get from me, especially, yeah, and you guys, is we're consistent. Yeah. I'm not saying Wizzy ain't, because Wizzy's a good fucking YouTuber, yeah. But at the end of the day, some of these others ain't consistent, and it turns into a fucking farce. And it turns into, well, yeah, I'm gonna be Arteta out this week because we lost, and it's fashionable because it's trending on Twitter. Then the next week we win. Oh fucking yeah, the players were brilliant. Yeah, oh Arteta, I'm kind of turning, I'm changing. Then we beat Tottenham. I'm Arteta in. Well, fucking hang on, mate. You've been Arteta out for 4 months.
Lee, can I just say something? I think where we go wrong, probably us four and probably Zach, is that we probably don't articulate. No, it's not even that. Well, yeah, blunt. But I think what's happened is we don't articulate ourselves in a sort of calm way and a very persuasive way. You know, David Copperfield style. Like you watch these people who've got the case for Arteta, and it's not a criticism. It's not a criticism. It's just that they do no, and it's not a criticism of them, but it's factual that when you watch these podcasts, and I know Claude watches all of them. He's the one who sends me all the links to watch. But you know, and I'm not cussing them. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a narrative where you have to be behind Arteta, and that is the club stance, and everyone has to take it. But the way they explain themselves in terms of backing Arteta, they have no evidence. 2, when you ask them the plan, they can't tell you directly what the plan is because they don't know what the plan is. Exactly. So what they're really saying is, we'll back the manager. They talk about we defended better and we look more compact, yet on the right-hand side, we still get done by the overloads, especially where Bellerin and where Rob Holding's before. And even with David there, David has to do two his jobs because Bellerin is too inverted. Bellerin can't play at right back with Pepe. He can just about play right back with Saka. But Cedric looks a better player in that position for what we need, but he's not the answer. And then you have the situation where they talk about we're playing through the lines and we're playing this really great football. Hang on here. We identified yesterday that Arsenal can only play at a high tempo. That if they don't play at this tempo, where high tempo, they'll get bodies because they haven't got a player yet who has that sort of Jan Saquon, not just to pick up the pass, but just get the ball and went right, tick it over, calm everything down. We haven't got those sort of players. We've got players to put a foot in.
This is the thing. You're right. You're right, Kenny. Sorry to cut in. You're right. Yeah, because when people say the defense has improved. We've conceded 7 goals less than Fulham. They're bottom 3. I'm sorry, I don't care whether they've got one of the best defenses in the league. The reason they're in the bottom 3 is because they're fucking shit. Yeah, with all due respect to any Fulham fans watching this. Then you go, yeah, but Jose parks the bus all the time. Well, they've conceded 1 goal more than us. So do we park the bus all the time? Oh, no, we don't park the bus because we're cutting through the lines now. Oh, now Odegaard and Smith Rowe and Saka and Pepe and Abba. Oh, Xhaka's amazing. All of our players are amazing. Why the fuck are we 10th then? Yeah, and this is what winds me up with it. Because if you
once it's all up,
you're way down. Yeah, and that's because we park the bus, which is no coincidence, is our defence is slightly improved. If you look at how many goals we've conceded this season and divide it by how many games and then times that by 38 games, you'll get roughly there or thereabouts how many goals we're going to concede this season, yeah? And guess what? It's going to be about 10 less than we did under Unai Emery in his full season, where apparently we were wide open and shit.
The thing about it is I've got no problem with it. But when you get personal and calling people toxic, and when people ask you what the plan is and where's the evidence of success, you have to have an answer to that question. You have to be able to debate it, because as far as I'm concerned, I've picked areas which still concern me about it. It doesn't mean I'm right, but I'm still concerned about us. I mean, the inability to change the tempo in the midfield. I'm still concerned about the Aubameyang's inability to play, as a full-time centre forward, and that we struggle in that area. I still have concerns about Martinelli, that he's still raw, and that we're not going to see the best of him, because I actually agree with the manager in holding him back. I still have loads of concerns where I haven't seen the progress. Yes, one thing I like the fact we're playing a high tempo, and I like the fact that we're pressing.
Kenny, the worst ones are, Kenny, the ones that we're all in or have been in group chats with or do see online, but then when they're not online or they're not in front of a camera, they're saying something completely fucking different. There's hundreds
of them. That's their prerogative.
There's hundreds of them. And listen, that's all well and good, but you ain't fooling me, right? And the funny thing about it is they're the ones that I've disassociated myself with over the last 18 months because they're full of shit, right? And I don't want to hang around with people that are full of shit and talk to people that are full of shit, because do you know what? I know for a fact that there's people out there that wanted a manager sacked after Baku and then went on camera and said that they fucking give him another chance. I know for a fact, yeah? I know for a fact. And I'll tell you something, right? People like that worry me, yeah? Because they're oh, I'm nice to everyone. Oh, I'm friendly with everyone. Oh, everyone. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah. But guess what? You're chatting absolute bollocks, because your opinion changes in one group chat to the next, one camera to that, then your Twitter, then this. Then there is hundreds of fans like this on social media, probably thousands of fans like this. Yeah. What happens then becomes about just fitting in rather than actually giving your opinion.
But I hear what you're saying, but you have to accept the majority of people won't put their head above the parapet, and
that's why I don't watch it anymore.
It's different from everyone else. Yeah, but you've got to realise is that majority of people want to get on. Majority of fans want to have a nice little drink, and they want to be happy, and they don't want to be. People just don't want to be hated, and people don't want to be ridiculed, and that's you're going to get after we're dead.
Yeah, that's all well and good. Kenny, that's all well and good. But when you're on social media in a YouTube sphere on one of the biggest platforms. It's only the second, only Facebook's bigger than this. And when you go on YouTube or you go on Twitter or you go on Insta, yeah, well, I'm sorry. If you're giving your opinion out, I want to hear your opinion. So,
Lee, I'll agree with you. But remember one thing, right? Is that, remember back in the day when you used to have Barry Sook points of view, the only criticism fans, like the TV stars got, is when he used to read out the little letters about, or when they asked Aaron Robinson to do points of view. Now, when you're on YouTube, you don't have points of view. You don't need points of view. You just have to look at the comments. And I don't care what anyone says. People are going to look at the comments. They are going to take it to heart. They're going to take it to heart because people are going to make, remarks about their appearance, about how they speak.
Yeah, that's great.
And I think not everyone's strong like you.
That's fantastic. That's brilliant. Great. Yeah. And listen, the amount of crap we all get on comments on all platforms is mad. Yeah. Guess what? Is that stopping you sleep at night? So who gives a
No,
fuck?
of course not. But
Yeah, so what you're saying is a lot of people would then look at the comments and say, "Oh, flipping hell, I better not say that again because I'm going to get hate."
Yes.
Well,
And that's the thing.
that's
I
why,
don't care.
that's why I don't want to watch you then. If that's how you want to move, I ain't watching you because you ain't giving me your opinion.
Lee, you've got to realize, I don't care what people think about me. I'm sticking to my guns. I don't need their approval. I've been watching this club for now all my life. I've seen managers come and go. I even know, because I watch so much football, I even know Tottenham's history but more than the bloody Spurs fans. I definitely know Chelsea's, fact, Tony Rolfe. And Liverpool's history. I know the game inside out. I don't need these. Plus, another thing as well, I am very comfortable in my own skin. I have friends. I made new friends with you guys. I won't lose sleep. These people turn against me because I have a different opinion to them. I'm not going to lose sleep with them because guess what? They're acquaintances. If that's how they want to be, then they can stay acquaintances. But we have to remember we all share a fan base with people who aren't like that. Some people, whether we like it or not, being part of a WhatsApp group, being part of a YouTube thing or ASCV or going to football, they're lonely people and they want to be loved. And we just have to accept that. And it's accept as we tell people to enjoy their own supporters experience, then we've got to let them do their own as well. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Well said. And that's why you have the chance to click on it or not click on it. So which I now don't do. I don't click on certain faces. But anyway, on that bombshell, let's wrap this up real quick. We do have a game. I just want to get a couple of minutes off each of you for the game on that Sunday against West Ham. Obviously, David Moyes, Jesse Lingard's available. He's back. Obviously, after he was not allowed to play against Man United. Claude, what do you reckon to the West Ham at the weekend? Do you think we can beat them? It's at their ground, I think. Is it at their ground?
What gives me hope about this game on Sunday? I thought they were very poor. They were very poor against United, and maybe the season's catching up with them. I don't know. I think the biggest battle will be if we have to. Their midfield is very, very, very good at the moment, and our midfield is not. So that could be where it's won and lost. I'm going to be optimistic and say we'll get a narrow 2-1 win.
What about you? Let me come to Chig first. Chig. He's been waiting patiently.
I think it'll be a pretty tight match because people, I don't know, I just got a feeling that West Ham won't be happy with the way they performed against United because, like Claude said, I thought they were very poor. So I think they'll be looking to try and improve their performance. West Ham is never an easy game. I'd say something on the lines of 1-0 Arsenal. Optimistically, probably 1-1 though. So I'll go 1-1. I'm leaning towards 1-1.
What about you, Kenny?
Sorry, guys. If David Moyes treats us as equals and they play at high tempo, I can't see us winning it. I really can't. You know, I'm going to make an excuse, a manager's excuse, that we've been in Europe. You know, they've had more rest than us. You know, they have been in Europe. We've had a bat. I know, Lee. Lee, you want to kill me for that. But I just have to be honest that West Ham are playing better football than us. They're a better team than us at the moment. And what's happening is they play a high tempo, Mikel Antonio, and they have Bowen running off us. And no one talks about Souček, do they? But he always scores. I think they'll beat us about 2 or 3-1. I really think they'll be too strong for us.
That they got Souček and Kufal from is the club we have in Europa League next round, Slavia Prague.
Christ,
That's where they both come from.
Lee, can you imagine if they still had them? I think people's optimism about the draw will be a bit. You know,
there you go.
You know what? I'm
going to give my prediction tomorrow at 10 o'clock when I do a preview with Corey, a West Ham fan. He's coming on.
You're doing a Chig. You're doing a Chig, aren't you?
Yeah.
See what you started.
I never do previews. That's why I gave my preview prediction. But yeah, of course, you got to do what you do, man.
Yeah.
Let me
Well,
answer a
I
couple of
suppose
these.
so.
Real quick. Question for Lee: who hired the bald, bruv? What's that got to do with being 10th in the table? The bald don't pick the team. There was another one I wanted to answer real quick as well that Sports Genius put in, if I can find it. I can't find it. I think it's gone off the screen. But yeah, big up to everybody who has watched live. Thank you very much. Make sure you smack a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to Claude. Make sure you subscribe to Chig. Make sure you follow Kenny Ken on Insta. Kenny Ken 1972 on Twitter.
Zach, come back. Zach, come back.
And
Can I say one more
Zach,
thing, though?
where you at? Go on, mate.
Can I say one more thing? This is for Chig. Right. You know, there's been a big announcement of the Joshua Fury fight. Are you buying it? Or is it just another PR hot air?
In terms of the whole that it's been signed.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just I think it probably has been, but I don't know why Eddie decided to announce it all of a sudden. I think it's
I think you know what legit. He wouldn't have come out and said it's done like that if it weren't. I don't think.
Funny enough, I'll talk about that today on the combat.
Oh, look, he's doing it again. Look, he's done it again.
I'm just saying. I'm going to talk about
it again. Look. Yeah, he's doing it again. You joker. I guess okay, cool. We're wrapping up anyway. You save it, yeah. You save it.
all I know. All right. I'm making an announcement for next week's show. We're going to be doing the Arsenal's top 3 players in debate because I think
there we go. We'll do that.
I'm not a great expert on boxing, but I think for Joshua to win, he has to knock him out.
100%. Agreed.
All right, cool.
Thierry's the best. Thierry's the best Arsenal player of all time.
Look at that.
Save it till next week. Save it till next week.
Kanu.
Next week.
We'll get Afsal on and he'll say
actually, you could actually put Mesut Ozil in the argument.
Oh, cool.
That will come back to that one.
You got any more shows you're doing today, or are you done for the day, mate?
Yeah, so I've got 2 more shows. I've got one I'm doing.
Saying this without moving his lips, by the way.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Go on.
I'm on Bits and Bob. Manchester United fan who's been on Football Terrace. I'm on there at 7 o'clock. So everyone who wants to, we'll be dissecting my YouTube.
What channel is that on?
Bits and Bob, it's called. He's a YouTuber that's been on. He heads the show, United show on the Football Terrace.
There you go. What about you, Chick?
Okay. So yeah, I've got 2 more shows. I've got one on Goon and Eagle Eye, which I'm literally about to do. 6:30. I've scheduled that for. So make sure you guys come over and join me for my reaction to Europa League draw.
Knowing you, Chigga, you might as well say 20-7 then.
Cheeky. And then I'm doing the combat show as usual with Ola and Will at 9:30, where we'll be talking a little bit boxing, a little bit because I think Lawrence Okole has a world title fight this weekend, so we'll be talking about that and a little UFC as well.
Kenny's been training. Look at that. You wouldn't want to get one of them little left jabs and a right off him, would you? You know
what? I was doing a boxing podcast on Monday, and I was trying to tell one of them how if the fight happens, how Fury beats Joshua. So I'll save it. I'll save it for a few. When the fight is definitely on, I'll get a venue. Then I'll tell everyone who wants to listen how Fury can win this fight. But save it till later.
Yeah, you know it's gonna be in the Middle East as well, didn't you? They're gonna.
Of course. Yeah, you want to get as much money as possible.
Yeah, well, we need to make sure we save up all this money we're profiting off of the wins recently, and we can maybe all fly out there to watch it together. On that bombshell, I'm out.
Will it be spectators? Will it be? No, it won't be, will it? No.
Yeah, there might be. It might be. It depends. It depends what country it's in. It depends whether we can fly anywhere. But listen, on that note, we're going to end this. I'll be back again tomorrow. I'm done for the day. I've literally done four streams today, 2 on my channel and 2 on others. So I'm done, man. I'm going to chill out and watch Fulham against Leeds United, and then I'll be back again tomorrow about lunchtime. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. Big up to all the real ones, and we're out of here. Latest, peeps.